Jai Saparikashi Shri Guru Gaurachandraju Ki Jai. Jai Shri Giriraj Govardhanju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pari Prajakacharya Astater Siddha Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pari Prajakacharya Astater Siddha Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Rakak Shri Radev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Welcome to Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission Morning Class. Hari Bol. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jata Parakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitangstam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vidangscha Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Haribo. Wow, continuing to read the beginning of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the first chapter of the first volume of Adi Lila. It is called The Spiritual Masters. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Jai Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Ki Jai Srila Om Vishnupad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Okay, so next text 20, which we read yesterday, says, in the beginning of this narration, simply by remembering the spiritual master, the devotees of the Lord, and the personality of Godhead, I have invoked their benedictions. Tinera smarane hai vigna vinashana anayase hai nija vanchita purana. Such remembrance destroys all difficulties and easily enables one to fulfill his own desires. Se mangala charana hai trividha prakara vastu nirdesha ashirvada vada namaskara. The invocation involves three processes: defining the objective, offering benedictions, and offering obeisances. Text 23. Pratama dui shloka ishtadeva namaskar samanya vishesha rupe duita prakar ishtadevika, the worshipable deity. The first two verses offer respectful obeisances generally and specifically to the Lord, who is the object of worship. Tritiya shlokete kari vastura nirdesha yaha hayite janipada tatvera udesha. In the third verse, I indicate the absolute truth, who is the ultimate substance. With such a description, one can visualize the supreme truth. Chaturta shlokete kari jagate ashirvada sarvatra magye Krishna Chaitanya prasada. In the fourth verse, I have invoked the benediction of the Lord upon all the world, praying to Lord Chaitanya for his mercy upon all. I just have to go back here for a second. So now this text 1. And then I have to study this a little bit. Tinera smarane hai vigna vinashana anayase hai nija vanchita purana. Such remembrance destroys all difficulties and very easily enables one to fulfill his own needs. Oh, whoops. I lost my place. Okay. Seis loke kahi bhaya vatara karana pancha shasta shloke kahi mula prayojana. In that verse, I have also explained the external reason for Lord Chaitanya's incarnation. But in the 5th and 6th verses, I've explained the prime reason for his advent. So let's go back. In the 4th verse, May the Supreme Lord, who is known as the son of Srimati Sati Devi, be transcendently situated in the innermost chambers of your heart. Resplendent with the radiance of molten gold, he has appeared in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before, the most sublime and radiant mellow of devotional service, the mellow of conjugal love. That is the 4th verse. You okay there? So in the 5th and 6th verses, now the Lord is, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj is giving the Lord's prime reason for his advent. Ehichaya shloke kahi chaitanyera tattva arapancha shloke nityanandera mahatva. In these 6 verses, I've described the truth about Lord Chaitanya, whereas in the next 5, I've described the glory of Nityananda. So he's going back over these first verses. I can't really give a pop quiz right now, because it's a little difficult. If you had a book, that would be easier. Then you could follow along. Ardui shloke advaita tattva kyana. Ara eka shloke pancha tattvera vyakyana. The next 2 verses describe the truth of Advaita Prabhu, and the following verse describes the Pancha Tattva, the Lord, his plenary portion, his incarnation, his energies, and his devotees. Okay. And so this is text 29 now. E choda shloke kari mangala charana tahi majje kahi shabavastu nirupama. These 14 verses, therefore, offer auspicious invocations and describe the supreme truth. Okay. So this is a synopsis of these 14 verses. And so now we'll continue. Text 30. Shava Shrota Vaishnaveri Kari Namaskar. E Shava Shlokera Kari Arta Vichar. I offer my obeisances unto all my Vaishnava readers as I begin to explain the intricacies of all these verses. Okay, so now we're going to start again. Shakala Vaishnava Shuna Kariya Kamana Chaitanya Krishnera Shastra Mata Nirupana. I request all my Vaishnava readers to read and hear with rapt attention this narration of Sri Krishna Chaitanya as inculcated in the revealed scriptures.
What does it mean, rapt?
Rapt, very strong, yeah. Strong attention. Complete, focused attention. Lord Chaitanya is the absolute truth, Krishna himself. This is substantiated by evidence from the authentic revealed scriptures. Sometimes people accept a man as God on the basis of their whimsical statements and without reference to the revealed scriptures. And at the time when Srila Prabhupada was coming to the West, there were a whole lot of these people. I don't know what happened. That guy's God, and this guy's God, and there's gods all over everywhere. But, and it was like, oh, yeah. But, yeah. But this is all substantiated in the revealed scriptures. But the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita proves all his statements by citing Shastra.
What is Shastra?
Scripture. Thus he established that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is establishing this for our good because we don't know Shastra. Krishna Guru Bhakta Shakti Avatar Prakasha Krishna Chaya Rupe Karena Vilasa. Lord Krishna enjoys by manifesting himself as the spiritual masters, the devotees, the diverse energies, the incarnations, and the plenary portions. They are all 6 in one. Echai Tatvera Kari Charana Vandana Pratame Samanye Kari Mangala Charana. I therefore excuse me, hiccups. I therefore worship the lotus feet of these 6 diversities of the one truth by invoking their benedictions. All right, is that all clear so far? So the Lord is the Lord is manifesting himself in 6 ways.
The spiritual master, the devotees, the diverse energies, incarnations, and plenary portions.
Yes.
What is not clear is what are the diverse energies and the plenary portions.
I think he's going to get into this more a little bit. But the spiritual masters, the devotees, the diverse energies, the incarnations, and the plenary portions. Plenary portion, generally plenary portion means Nityananda Prabhu. And the devotees are Srivas Thakur. Well, Srivas Thakur and the Panchatattva.
Okay.
And the energy of the Lord of the Shakti is Gadadhar Pandit, and the incarnation is Advaita Prabhu. So that's 5. But then also the spiritual masters are included here.
So this is referring to Panchatattva?
Yes, that's one reference, but there'll be more things explained, I think, We'll just keep reading about that. But yeah, ask questions is important.
Yeah, having the text is really helpful.
It's helpful. Yeah. Okay. Vande Guru Isha Bhakta Isham Ish Avatarakan Tapraka Shangstatat Jakti Krishna Chaitanya Samgyatam. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the spiritual masters, the devotees of the Lord's incarnations, his plenary portions, his energies, and the primeval Lord himself, Sri Chaitanya. Okay, should we read this purport? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has composed this Sanskrit verse for the beginning of this book, and now he will explain it in detail. He offers his respectful obeisances unto the 6 principles of the Absolute Truth. Guru is plural in number because anyone who gives spiritual instructions based on the revealed scriptures is accepted as a spiritual master. Although others give help in showing the way to beginners, the Guru who first initiates one with the Maha Mantra is to be known as the initiator, and the saints who give instructions for progressive advancement in Krishna consciousness are all called instructing spiritual masters. The initiating and instructing spiritual masters are equal and identical manifestations of Krishna, although they have different dealings. This is written right in the beginning. Oh dear. Their function is to guide the conditioned souls back home, back to Godhead. Therefore, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami accepted Nityananda Prabhu and the 6 Goswamis in the category of Guru. Not only one, but many. So sometimes younger persons who don't know what they're doing, I don't mean not all, but some, will say only the initiating spiritual master is Guru. And if you accept anyone else as spiritual master, you're being disloyal to that Guru, which is absolute nonsense. Right in the very beginning of this book, Srila Prabhupada is explaining this. Isha Bhaktan refers to devotees of the Lord like Sri Srivas and all other such followers who are the energy of the Lord and are qualitatively non-different from Him. Ishavatarakan refers to Acharyas like Advaita Prabhu, who is an avatar of the Lord. Tap Prakasham indicates the direct manifestation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Nityananda Prabhu, and the initiating spiritual master. Touch Shakti refers to spiritual energies, Shaktis of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gadadhar, Damodar, and Jagadananda belonging to this category of internal energy. The 6, so in the Panchatattva, the Shakti, meaning because Gadadhar Pandit is directly Srimati Radharani. So she is the chief Shakti, but also the internal potency. I mean, they're all of the high potent, divine potency, not like us. They're not jivas. Swarup Damodar, and also Jagadananda Pandit is Satyabhama, one of the queens of Dwarka, and of course Ramananda Rai. He's also. They're all they are all part of the Swarup Shakti. They're not Jiva Shakti. So, and Ramananda Rai being Vishakha Devi, so they're all the Shaktis. That's why these are all in plural. The 6 principles are differently manifest, but all equally worshipable. Krishnadas Kaviraj begins by offering his obeisances unto them to teach us the method of worshipping Lord Chaitanya. The external potency of Godhead, called Maya, can never associate with the Lord, just as darkness cannot remain in the presence of light. Yet darkness, being but an illusory and temporary covering of light, has no existence independent of light. So she is dependent upon him, and yet there is no, she is illusion and Krishna is full truth. Mantra Guru Arajata Shiksha Guru Gana Tahara Charana Age Karye Vandana. I first offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my initiating spiritual master and all of my instructing spiritual masters. Purport. Srila Jiva Goswami in his thesis Bhakti Sandarbha has stated that uncontaminated devotional service is the objective of pure Vaishnavas, and that one has to execute such service in the association of other devotees. One should. I'm just looking through this briefly, but at the bottom paragraph, one should always remember that a person who is reluctant to accept a spiritual master and to be initiated is sure to be baffled in his endeavor to go back to Godhead. One who is not properly initiated may present himself as a great devotee, but in fact he is sure to encounter many stumbling blocks on his path of progress towards spiritual realization, with the result that he must continue his term of material existence without relief. Such a helpless person is compared to a ship without a rudder, for such a ship can never reach its destination. It is imperative, therefore, that one accept a spiritual master if he at all desires to gain the favor of the Lord. The service of the spiritual master is essential. If there is no chance to serve the spiritual master directly, a devotee should serve him by remembering his instructions. There's no difference between the spiritual master's instruction and the spiritual master himself. All right. So maybe you have a pop quiz right now. Ready? What are the 6 principles of the Absolute Truth?
His devotees, his divine energies, his
Direct expansion.
His direct expansions,
Incarnations,
and there's one more.
5. Did you say the spiritual master?
Oh no.
The
So the spiritual master, the devotees, his energies, his incarnations,
expansion, like, and himself. Okay, so we'll just read that again.
Of diverse energies, not divine energy.
Well, no, but it is referring to divine energy, I think. I offer my respectful obeisance to the spiritual masters, the devotees of the Lord's incarnations, his plenary portions, his energies, and the primeval Lord himself, Sri Chaitanya. Very good.
Thank you. You helped me.
Well. Text 36. Sri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath. My instructing spiritual masters are Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Bhatta Raghunath, Sri Jiva Goswami, Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. Echai Guru Shiksha Guru Jai Amar Tansabhara Pada Padme Koti Namaskar. These 6 are my instructing spiritual masters, and therefore I offer millions of respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet. By accepting the 6 Goswamis as his instructing spiritual masters, the author specifically makes it clear that one should not be recognized as a Gaudiya Vaishnava if he is not obedient to them. So, you can name all the 6 Goswamis?
Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatana Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, Shri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami.
Raghunath Bhatta and? Gopal Bhatta. Very good. Very good. All right then. Bhagavanera Bhakta Jatta Srivasa Pradana Tansabhara Parapadme Sahasra Pranama. There are innumerable devotees of the Lord, of whom Srivas Thakur is the foremost. I offer my respectful obeisances thousands of times unto their lotus feet. So now he's describing the spiritual masters and now the devotees. First of all, the instructing and initiating spiritual masters and the devotees, innumerable devotees, of which the greatest, or given as the greatest devotee, is in the Panchatattva Srivas Thakur. Okay, very wonderful. Advaita Acharya Prabhura Angsha Avatara Tarapada Padme Koti Pranati Amara. Advaita Acharya is the Lord's partial incarnation, and therefore I offer my obeisances millions of times at his lotus feet. And so, pop quiz, Advaita Acharya is who? No, that's Srivas Thakur. Advaita Acharya is an incarnation of the Lord. He's fully the Lord himself. But when the Lord is not showing himself fully as Advaitacharya, but he is Vishnu Tattva. So he is Mahavishnu, who is breathing out so many universes. That's Advaita Prabhu. But he's also considered Sadashiva. Sadashiva is a direct expansion. Nityananda Rai Prabhura Swarupa Prakash Tara Parapadma Vando Jaramunyidas. Srila Nityananda Ram is the plenary manifestation of the Lord, and I have been initiated by him. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto his lotus feet. So he is both the direct initiating spiritual master and plenary manifestation, almost non-different from Mahaprabhu, but at the same time different. Balaram, Srila Guru Maharaj said, Balaram is like a mirror of the Lord, non-different, but still his mood is in fulfilling the desire of the Lord. Karadhara Panditadi Prabhura Nija Shakti Tansabara Charane Mora Sahasra Pranati. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the internal potencies of the Lord, of whom Sri Gadadhar Prabhu is the foremost being. Gadadhar Pandit is? Yes. And all the others are expansions of her, actually. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Swayam Bhagavan Tahara Pandara Vinde Ananta Pranam. Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu is the personality of Godhead himself, and therefore I offer innumerable prostrations at his lotus feet. Savarane Prabhure Kariya Namaskar Echai Teho Jai Che Kariye Vichar. Having offered obeisances unto the Lord and all of his associates, I shall now try to explain these 6 diversities in one. Oh, this is so astonishing. So first he's giving identity and offering thousands of obeisances to each one, and now he's going to explain. Purport. There are many unalloyed devotees of the personality of Godhead, all of whom are considered associates surrounding the Lord. Krishna should be worshipped with his devotees. The diverse principles are therefore the eternal paraphernalia through which the absolute truth can be approached. So these cannot be eliminated at any time. Sometimes we would find, in the beginning, sometimes we could go to an Indian store, like in a city. Well, the city where I joined the temple was Toronto. And the Indian stores, there was one. I don't know how many more, but there was one. And we would go in there and we'd see all kinds of Indian paraphernalia. And we were like, ooh, buying incense and stuff like that. But there would be a picture of Krishna something. And one devotee brought a picture to Srila Prabhupada. And he said, no, this is not really correct. Krishna should be depicted with his devotees, because he was just standing by himself. So that is not to be conceived like that. Never. That will be wrong. Jajapi Amar Guru Chaitanya Das Tatapi Janiye Amitahara Prakash. Although I know that my spiritual master is a servitor of Sri Chaitanya, I know him also as a plenary manifestation of the Lord. Now Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj is speaking about whom?
The spiritual master.
He's saying he is my spiritual master, but he's also a plenary manifestation of the Lord. Full, almost the Lord himself.
So Nityananda Prabhu.
Yes, Nityananda Prabhu. Very good at the pop quizzes this morning. Lord Nityananda, who is Balaram himself, the first direct manifestation. Jai Shri Guru Gaura Chandraju Ki Jai. Lord Nityananda, who is Balaram himself, the first direct manifestation or expansion of Krishna, is the original spiritual master. He helps Lord Krishna in his pastimes, and he is a servant of the Lord. Every living entity is eternally a servant of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Therefore, the spiritual master cannot be other than a servant of Lord Chaitanya. The spiritual master's eternal occupation is to expand the service of the Lord by training disciples in a service attitude. A spiritual master never poses as the Supreme Lord himself. He is considered a representative of the Lord. The revealed scriptures prohibit one's pretending to be God. But a bona fide spiritual master is a most faithful and confidential servitor of the Lord, and therefore deserves as much respect as Krishna. He is a manifestation of the Lord as Guru. Guru Krishna Rupa Hanna Shastra Pramane Guru Rupe Krishna Kripa Karena Bhaktagane. According to the deliberate opinion of all the revealed scriptures, the spiritual master is non-different from Krishna. Lord Krishna, in the form of the spiritual master, delivers his devotees. So simultaneously one and different. That where the Lord is meeting the conditioned souls, that meeting point. I always think this is my own analogy, or my own thought, that point is Guru. The Lord is coming as Guru, but at the same time, Guru is a servitor of the Lord. So that is a Chintabeda Bed. Okay, let's see now. All right, we'll stop here. Any questions? So one should honor the spiritual master as being the non-different from the Lord. That kind of honor is very important, because the Lord has come in this form for our upliftment. And the spiritual master has come because he's a representative, or Lord Nityananda Prabhu is the original spiritual master. He wants to bring others for the service of the Lord, to fulfill the desires of the Lord. This is his nature. Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj ki jai. You want to get a Upadesamrita? Do you want one of these also? No. Okay. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Rupa Goswami ki jai. Shri Sad Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga ki jai. Vacho vegam manasakroda vegam. Jiva vegam udarapasta vegam. Etan veganyo vishaheta dhira. Sarvam apimam prativim sasisyat. So we're going to try to remember the meanings of these verses while we're chanting them. Sishya means to instruct, and Pritibim, the whole world. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha loyangcha sadbhir bhaktir binashyati loyam utsahan nishchaya dharyat tat karma pravartanat sangatyagat satovrite sadbhir bhakti prasidyati. Haribol. Utsahan, enthusiasm. Mahotsav, like a big festival, like this kind of enthusiasm. Dadati pratigrahnati guhyam makyati prichati Bhukte pojayate chaiva sadvidam pritilakshanam. Haribo. Krishneti asya giritam manasadriyeta dikshasti che pranati bischa pajantamisham. Shushushaya bhajana vigyam mananyamanya nindadi shunya hridamit shital sangalabdya. All right. Drishtaishva bhava janitesh papushascha doshe na prakritatvam iha bhaksya pasyed gangamba sankha na kalu buddhapena panker pramadravatvam apagachati niradharmai. Haribo. Beautiful. Beautiful verses. Sya Krishna Nama Charitari Sitapya Vidya Pito Patapta Rasanasya Narochikanu Kinvadaram Na Anudinam Kalu Saiva Jushta Swadvikramad Bhavati Tadgadam Mulahantri Tannama Rupa Charitari Sukirtananu Smrityo Kramena Rasana Manasi Niyojya Tishtan Brajetad-anuragi Jaganugami Kalam Nayedakilam Ityupadeshasaram. Haribo. Vaikuntas Chanito Varamadupuri Tatrapina Rasotsavad Vrindaranyamudarapani Ramanat Tatrapi Govardhana Radha Kundamihapi Kokulapate Premamrita Plavana Kuryadasya Birajito Giritate Sevang Vivekinaka. Haribo. Karmibhya parito hare priyataya vyaktim yayurgyaninas tebhyo jnana vimukta bhakti parama premaika nishtastata tebhyasta pashupala pankaja dishastabhyopi saradika presto tadvariyam tadiya sharashitang nashrayet kakruti. All right then. Jai Shri Upadesamrta. Now, this last verse, number 10, we'll read it from the book. Jnanis are known to be more dear in all respects to Krishna than and devotees completely free from jnana are more dear than the jnanis. And devotees fixed exclusively in prema are more dear than devotees who are only completely free from jnana. The lotus-eyed gopis are more dear than them, and among them Shri Radhika is even more dear than the gopis. This lake of hers is similarly dear to Krishna. Would any fortunate soul not take shelter here? All right. Gradation, yes. Much gradation. Much gradation. This is only general. There's much finer gradation that Srila Guru Maharaj speaks about. Huh?
I said, wow, there's more gradation in that.
Yeah. And here we have something called the personality, which is basically different gradations of illusion. A lot of variety there. But, of course, when one begins to approach the Lord, that is being imbued also with his tendency to devotion. Haribo. So now we're on page 276 at the very bottom. So now continuing to read Srila Guru Maharaj's summary description of the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. So, Devarshi Narada went to visit Hanumanji. It is described that Hanuman was living in Kim Purushavasha. Okay. Somewhere near the Himalayas. From far off, Devarshi Narada began playing his veena and chanting Rama, 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 Rama. As soon as the names of Rama entered the ear of Hanumanji, he thought, who has come? Who has come here and made me hear the name of my Lord, Ram? He was so excited that he jumped up and embraced Devarshi in the sky. Shedding tears and profusely from his eyes, he said, O Devarshi, you have come. I am in a desert. I feel as though I am lying in a desert with no remembrance of Ramachandra. Without food, I am dragging my body on somehow. This is the dispensation of Vidhata, providence. I am passing my days somehow here in a deplorable condition. But you have come here after so long and made me hear the loving name of Ramachandra. You are enlivening me with your song of Rama's name. I was dying without hearing Ramanam. These are confidential talks because, of course, Hanuman is never forgetting Ram. But he's feeling that he's that kind of separation. In this way, there was a confidential talk between them, and tears ran down from the eyes of them both. Then Narada came to Hanuman's quarters and began to praise his fortune. How fortunate you are, Hanuman. You serve Lord Ramachandra so much and so intimately, and you do not know anything but your master, Ramachandra. How great is the service you have rendered to Ramachandra. You have set the record of service to the Lord, and now the whole world is following after you. Your service is unparalleled and has become the ideal for the whole world. What have you not done for Ramachandra? History is the witness of your glorious service record, so you are very, very fortunate. I have come here to have a look at you, only to purify my own heart, what to speak of our hearts. Hanuman said, what are you saying, Devarshi? I do not think you are speaking normally. I am reckoned in the species of the beasts and not among the human species. What knowledge do I have of how to render service to Ramachandra? What have I done? Yes, by Ramachandra's grace I was able to do something, but really I have nothing, no worth. It was only by his intimate grace that he took some service from this half-animal, your Hanuman. And since then my master has left me here. He took the whole of Ayodhya with him, but not this unfortunate soul. He has left me somehow or other here in the forest, and I'm weeping day and night in his separation. How things were when Ramachandra was present. He did so much. No one will ever have such a master. So much deep affection, so much generosity, so much indifference to worldly things, and so much love for his subjects and all creatures he had. One can never imagine how profound his heart was. Very fortunately, I came in touch with the great Ramachandra, but I am unfortunate in that I am now left here. He has withdrawn all his real devotees along with him, and they do not have to tolerate separation from his service, but I am lost. Anyway, I hear that Ramachandra has again come as Krishna. I cannot like any other avatar but Ramachandra, but I hear from a distance how Krishna, who is Ramachandra himself, is very friendly in showing his favor to the Pandavas. So the Pandavas are very fortunate that like an intimate friend, Krishna is dealing with them. I have great appreciation for the fortune of the Pandavas. Sometimes I think that I shall go to see them with these eyes. and see how happy they are. In this way, Hanuman began to praise the Pandavas' fortune in Sakya Ras. Hanuman has the highest type of Dasya Ras, and he has appreciation for Sakya Ras, showing that it is superior to his rasa, and he has some attraction for that rasa. Still, Hanuman won't allow himself to go to Sakya Rasa. It is a peculiarity. There is a peculiar temperament that the rasa which is one's own seems to one to be the best, still into tasta vichar. When one can temporarily become aloof or objective and get away from one's own relative position, then one can appreciate that there is a higher position of another rasa, even though one won't like to have that for himself. It's a very extraordinary thing. Kintu jaj jay rasas se savotama tatastahanya vicharile achetaratama. One is best fitted in one's own rasa, but if it is possible for one to get out of that relative position, so he's only seeing according to his own heart. He's seeing the Lord, and he's seeing his relationship with the Lord. But somehow or other, if he gets the chance to look at other rasas, he may say, oh, this is more. This is so wonderful, this rasa of friendship with him. How incredible. But he doesn't want to be in that rasa. Then one can appreciate the higher position. One is best fitted in one's own rasa, but if it is possible for one to get out of that relative position, then one can understand the inferiority or superiority that exists between rasas. Still, Hanuman had his unchangeable heart in the service of Dasya Ras. Wherever the consideration of Dasya Ras comes up, then Hanuman is represented as the ideal servant. Of course, his peculiar servant is so famous that sometimes his superiority is supported by some special consideration which cannot be accommodated in the science of devotion. Hanuman's Dasya Rasa is very intense and famous. Thus, it has been mentioned. Back on. Shri Vishnu Shravane Parikshid Abhavad Vayashiki Kirtane Prahlada Smarane Tad Angri Bhajane Lakshmi Pritu Pujane Akrurastva Bivandane Kapi Patir Dasyeta Sakye Arjuna Sarvasvatma Nivedane Balir Abud Krishnaptire Shamparam. Maharaj Parikshit attained Krishna in full by hearing of Sri Vishnu. And then that was, of course, from Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva did so by kirtan of him, Prahlad by remembrance of him, Lakshmi by serving his feet, Prithu by worship of him, Akrura by obeisances unto him, Hanuman by service to him, by friendship with him, and Bali by full surrender of the self to him. Here we find that Hanuman occupies the position primarily representing Dasya. Then Devashi Narada, after hearing of Hanuman's appreciation for the Pandavas' fortune, somehow managed to bid farewell to Hanuman and went straight to see the Pandavas. There he found Yudhisthira Maharaj on the throne and began to sing the glories of the Pandavas. How friendly you are in your relationship with Krishna. How fortunate you are.
Do you have a question?
Yeah.
It says, of course, Hanuman's peculiar service is so famous that sometimes his superiority is supported by some special consideration, which cannot be accommodated in the science of devotion. What would be that special?
I know that there are some different stories in which Hanuman, I'm trying to remember one. I mean, I know it in a general sense, but I heard it recently, actually, by Srila Guru Maharaj speaking about this, but unfortunately, I was doing other things and listening at the same time, and not giving my full attention, and I was thinking, I'm going to go back and look at that again, which I didn't. But he has some kind of, everything can be, there can be exceptions everywhere to the general idea about the science of devotion. So his position is so exclusive. Hanuman is Hanuman. And sometimes he's doing things or in a position which is not fully slotted in how we can understand the science of devotion in general. But I hesitate to tell the story because I can't remember it as clearly as I would like to. But I don't even know if that's an example of that exactly. But it seems to be. But then okay. So now Devashi Narada has come to the Pandavas. in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, when Narada arrives in the throne room of Yudhisthira, all the Pandavas are there, and he's saying so many things in praise of the Pandavas. But he's saying, Krishna is so friendly with you, is such a... And then Bhima says, do you see Krishna anywhere around here? What are you talking about?
And they are Sakya, right? Sakya,
yeah.
Like
But Bhima, but every one of them, they go and they say, what are you saying? You should go here, you should go up here, go there. Bhima is Hanuman's brother. They're both the sons of Vayu, actually. And you know who Vayu is?
No.
He's the wind.
The wind?
The wind god, the deity of wind. And very powerful. If you've ever seen a windstorm, you can appreciate how powerful the wind is. And they are both sons of him. Both sons of Vayu. One story that is interesting, that may be an example of this, what you were asking before, of how, Bhima went up into the Himalaya, and he's just freely creating havoc. Bhima. I want to make sure you're able to hear this story. So Bhima is very, very, very strong. All the Pandavas are very strong, but when they were in the forest, Bhima would carry them. And he would carry Nakula and Sahadev here and Kunti Devi here, not Kunti Devi. This was in the first time that they were in the forest. But anyways, he was very, very, very powerful. And he killed Rakshasas, like with one hand while he's eating with the other hand, like pushing them away. He's very strong. And Bhima once, he went up into the Himalayas and just knocking down trees and breaking big boulders and wrestling with different kinds of creatures. Bhima having a great time. And then in Vaishnava etiquette, you don't step over anyone. So he's running along, and then he sees the tail of a monkey going across the road, the path. And a monkey was sleeping, an old monkey. And Bhima says, "Hey, wake up! I got it. I'm going here." No, monkey says, "Oh, just keep going. I'm too tired. I can't." He said, "Well, just move your tail." "No, I'm not going to." "Hey, you don't move your tail, I'm going to kill you." He said, "No, then I just can't do it. You're a young man. You move my tail." And so Bhima's like, and he cannot move this tail. Yeah. And he says, "Who are you?" He says, "I'm your brother." And then they're very lovely and wonderful. But this is so in this instance, and I don't even know if this is an example, but in this instance, Hanuman is defeating Bhima on one level. But maybe this is probably not really a thing according to the science of rasa, but I don't know. But this is an example of where Hanuman definitely defeats Bhima. And there's other stories too about how he put Garuda under his arm, but that Garuda is also in Dasya. But anyway, there's just some stories about Hanuman like that. So I am not saying that's necessarily an example of what Guru Maharaj is referring to here, but they come to mind anyways.
There is some pop quiz for those who are...
A pop quiz? Oh, they were probably taking part in all the other pop quizzes, right, that we had today? Oh, you want a different pop quiz? Okay. Pop quiz. What are the 6 features of the Lord?
Let's see one.
Let's just see.
Let's just see. What are the 6 features?
Of the Lord. You already gave this answer. Features of the absolute truth. I'll do better tomorrow, but I was thinking that you were all taking part in the other pop quiz, the other quizzes that we already had.
Yeah, the thing is that they join later.
Ah, okay.
And then Vimal Krishna Prabhu said something not related to the pop quiz.
Okay.
Maybe we can read it. When a jiva soul reaches Goloka, they have their natural position of rasa. Say Sakya rasa, for example. Do they stay in that rasa eternally, or do they continue to evolve to the platform of Madhurya rasa?
Well, Dandavat Bimal Prabhu, I heard Srila Guru Maharaj answering this question. And he said it is very much the nature of the soul. Like the soul has a particular tendency to serve the Lord in a certain way. He said, and that is changed very, very rarely. And he gave the example of Shamananda Prabhu, who found that Nupur. You know that story? You know that story? Have you heard this story? So Shamananda Prabhu he was living in Vrindavan. His place is also very near to our temple in Vrindavan. And he found that Nupur, that ankle bracelet. And he was looking, and then he saw one very beautiful young girl looking in the bushes and looking around. And he said, "Oh, mother, what are you looking for?" Because in those days, everyone except your wife would be called mother. And this was a respectful. Are you hearing this? And so he said, "Oh, mother, what are you looking?" And she said, "Oh, my mistress has lost her ankle ornament." And he said, "Oh, is this it?" And she was so happy. She took that ornament and she pressed it against his forehead. And then she left, and it made a tilak, a particular design of tilak. And suddenly he was imbued with Madhura Ras, although his Ras had been Sakya Ras. And so Srila Guru Maharaj is telling this, and he said, but this is very, very rare. And Srimati Radharani approached Subal and said, I want one of yours. I want one of your men to come to my party. Oh, yes, he's very fortunate. But then Srila Guru Maharaj said, but it is actually said by Bhaktivinoda Thakur that his rasa was not Sakya rasa. It was always Madhurya, but it was awakened. And his previous guru did not have, could not perceive that rasa in him. So it's very, very rare. Yeah. So that was the answer I heard from Srila Guru Maharaj about this question.
That was his particular case, that his Madhura Rasa had to be awakened. And for us,
or brought out, not exactly awakened, but brought out. Yeah.
Are we all fit for Madhura Rasa?
Fit.
Is Mahaprabhu allowing every jiva to go to Madhura Rasa, or we're just going to enter the positive plane in probably Sakya Rasa?
No, what Mahaprabhu is giving is Madhura Rasa. Absolutely. And from the Rupanuga line is the Madhura Rasa line. But that doesn't mean that every single person who's a follower of Mahaprabhu has that, or has that nature. For example, Srivas Thakur. Srivas Thakur is in, that's Vaikuntha Ras. And Murari Gupta is Hanuman himself. And different relationships are there. But what he's come to distribute to those who are coming in this line is Madhura Rasa. That is what he's giving. Whether all living entities are going to... because in another place, Srila Gurudev said, Mahaprabhu has come to gather a small group and bring them to the service of in Madhura Rasa.
So when we're trying to distribute Krishna consciousness, it's not like we're doing it with the hope to bring more people. Like, what would be the real purpose of Kirtana?
It's a really important question. We are just trying to please our Guru by sharing what he's given and connecting others with him. Connecting others with that line. We have no real property of our own. But we have something that our Guru has given us to give to others and connect them with him. Connect others with the Rupanuga line. It's not that we really can't really conceive of Madhura Rasa very much. We can, as Guru Maharaj said, we can examine the reflection of that. Like you can examine the sun in the reflection. Like you can take a reflection of the sun and examine it. But you can't examine the sun directly. It'll kill you. So we're hearing about these things as a reflection, not a perverted reflection like Maya, but in a way that we can understand it. And whatever that is, we are trying to share that opportunity with others. Trying to bring them to that opportunity also. I don't know if I answered your question.
So the real purpose of Kirtana is to share this opportunity of connection with our spiritual master.
With our spiritual masters. Yeah.
Oh, they initiate
and Shiksha Gurus.
And the instruction gurus.
Yeah. And the Rupanuga line with Mahaprabhu himself, Nityananda Prabhu, going. And why? For Krishna. To please, they've come to enlist others in the service of Krishna.
That's when it gets complicated.
It does.
Yeah.
Because we want to be merciful or extend the mercy that has been brought to us. But what is that mercy? The service of the Lord. It is all for Him. He is all of reality. There is nothing that is not an expansion of Him. Even Jiva Shakti is His Shakti. So by serving Him, everything is served. By pleasing Him, everything is pleased. And by knowing Him, everything is known. By getting Him, everything is gotten. So it's all for Him. We are doing kirtan for Him, not for them. Not leaving Him out, like I'm out on some missionary thing to make people relieved of this world or something like that. That's not exactly right. That compassion must be that others are not having an opportunity to come into the harmony of divine service. So we always have to preach Krishna consciousness in Krishna consciousness. We can't leave Krishna out. And that can start to happen a little bit. So we're doing kirtan to please kirtan. To please the Lord, to please the name Himself. We are trying to meditate on the name in a mood of surrender. And what comes from that is His business. And if somebody comes up, that is being sent by Him. And I'm trying to do that service in the mood of surrender as far as possible. Because He is the one who's giving mercy. And I want to be, as Guru Prabhupada used to say, a transparent via medium. Not in the interference from myself. So we don't want to exploit those we are preaching to. We must keep a very sober consciousness. It's worse sin for, like, if you hear about a priest who is exploiting someone. That it seems much worse than an ordinary person. Because we've been sent on an errand by our guru, so we must make sure that all the money collected goes to him. None of it goes to me. We have to be really very sober about that in our preaching. And not that I'm become, all these people like me, I'm this and that, and I'm saying all these wise things, and I'm this and that. I mean, these things are in the heart of the conditioned soul, but we're careful about that. We don't want to take any money out of the box for ourselves. It is all for Guru, and that will be powerful for that person. To connect them without interference from myself. We're working on that. But we are aware about this also. We want to become gentlemen. Actually, real persons of honor. That's not easy in the Kali Yuga. Honor is defined by grossness. So, we have come into the connection with the most dignified, honorable persons that exist. So we are also, Satovite, we're following their footsteps, Tat Karma Pravartan, and doing those things, but we're following in their line of existence. That's why we have certain things we do and we don't do, to keep our consciousness in a good, clean position as far as we are able. And that will keep us very, very strong. So we're always doing seva, meaning it's not for me, it is for the Lord. And that will keep us in such a strong connection. And then we can just, when the little dog of the mind goes, I'm going to steal some fruit from the table. Take a shoe.
Since our consciousness is the consciousness desire is to exploit, is not like genuinely for Krishna, but we are aware that that is reality.
What did you say? I didn't catch it actually, sorry. The what?
I can repeat it, no worries.
Okay.
That our consciousness wants to exploit the steal. We're not 100% fixed in devotion for the Lord. But we are hearing from our gurus that is reality. That is our prasthya.
Yeah.
Can we fake it till we make it when we come to service? Even though my heart wants to exploit the environment, but can we still say, okay, we're doing this for the Lord? Even though internally...
Action in knowledge increases one's advancement in knowledge. Yeah. I mean, it's not exactly faking it, but it is... I mean, we can be honest with the Lord in our heart. He knows us very well. He's the one person who knows you better than you do. He's your dearest friend. Say, my Lord, look at me, but pahimam, rakshamam, save me, protect me. I'm helpless, but save me. You know me. You know this, that. Get desperate. Lolium means desperate. The positive side of lolium means desperate. Like I'm hanging by a thread off of a cliff. Save me. Call out. Save me. Protect me. Look at me. My mind is like a hurricane. But that's nothing for you. And all these lovely things, like what Srila Gurudev said, that beautiful prayer. That's, I'm doing my job. Now you do your job. I'm a very fallen soul. I've done my part. Now you're the rescuer of people like me. Now you do your part. Oh Lord, Jai. I mean, this is a battle. It's a battle. Be a warrior. Be a hero. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, arise, heroic man. And the little, I want what I want, and I don't like a whining little mind. Sometimes I look at my mind and I'm like, really? But there are so many levels of that conditioning. And a good day is when the Lord, by the environment, shows you one of those levels. You're like, wow, that was a great day. I could see clearly this thing that I thought was just perfectly normal. And now it's like, ew.
Maybe that's why patience is so important. Because right away, we're not going to see that. And even if we try to surrender, it might take days or weeks or even months to see.
Yeah, and plus there's a battle on that front also. You can bow down to a circumstance that is really disturbing to your mind and go, oh, I see clearly this is not actually anything that is going to benefit me in any way. I don't like it. Look at that. That's wrong. But then the mind will go, oh yeah? And then, there's a battle that goes on, but it has to go on through continued surrender. Yeah, because the mind has all kinds of weapons. Anger, lust, greed, madness, bewilderment, lamentation. God, those are all weapons. And who are they? The mind is sticking them into you. You're like...
Isn't it crazy that we don't even remember that we did this to ourselves? That we got ourselves in this trouble?
Yeah. We made all kinds of stupid decisions. It's just like a person who lies, and they are so invested in that lie that they forget that they lied. And if anyone says they lied, they become infuriated. Like, how could you? We get invested, and then we forget we're lying. We've been doing it for a long time.
That happens.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
It's like if you, like a kid, put their hands over their eyes, and then they think nobody can see them. Because she's like, really? Does this work for you sometimes? It's not going to work. Believe me, I'm not going to let it work. Haribol, Jai Shri Shri Upadesamrta ki Jai, Srila Rupa Goswami ki Jai.
Nobody answered the pop quiz.
I think it shouldn't be online. I think that the it can be, but I'm just saying, I'm going to just ask questions as we go along, and then it helps everybody, really. It helps me. It helps me a lot. If I ask a question, then I really have to remember the answer. Hari Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shimade Sudam Giridhari Gopinath Saparika Shri Guru Gaurachandra Ju Ki Jai Jai. Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ju Ki Jai Jai. Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajakaacharya Astatar Sadashri Shriman Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai. Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajakaacharya Astatar Sadashri Shriman Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Millions of times, as Krishnadas Maharaj says, so many thousands and thousands of times I'm offering my obeisances to them. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Madhacharya Vrinda Ki Jai, Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai, Saparshad Shriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai, Saparshad Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Syama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai, Chaitanya Saraswat Mission Ki Jai, Tadiya Shaka Mat Ki Jai, Kol Kartal Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Vaishnava Mandala Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi Jai Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev.
Srimad Krishna Prabhu said that the answer to his question was helpful.
Uh-huh.
And then Shantalili is here listening. And Lavanika.
Haribol.